Greetings, folks. Professor Edward Smaldone here from the Aaron Copland School of Music. And this video is going to be about key signatures. Now I'm going to go right to the screen share and show you that what we've already done is we talked about the whole steps and the half steps and the C major scale. And we showed how if you go to the piano and play a major scale on each one of the notes that's on the keyboard, you're going to get these 12 unique scales. Now, there's a pattern to this in the way that the key signatures, which are shown like this in a clef, there's always a group of sharps or a group of flats. And you will notice that none of the key signatures have both sharps and flats. It's always one or the other. So C major has no sharps and no flats. That's actually the key signature of C major. It also happens to be the key signature of A minor. So that same key signature is both for C major and A minor. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. The first thing to realize, though, is that these sharps and flats will always appear in a very specific order. If there's only one sharp, it'll be F sharp. If there are two sharps, it'll be F sharp and C sharp. If there are three, it'll be F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. And those patterns are shown right here. And if you go back to your other handout, this one, you'll see that there's one sharp. And now this one has two sharps. And this one has three sharps. And the next one has four sharps. And this next one has five. This one has six. They are laid out in that order very intentionally. And when we write them down, we write them in this order so that there's a pattern that we can readily recognize. So one sharp would be F, two would be C sharp. With the flats, going down the other side, one flat is the key of F major. The key of B flat major has two flats. Make sure you don't count this one a second time. That's the B flat. That's the same one as that one. So the name of the key is B flat, and it needs one more flat in addition to the one that's for the tonic. A little piece of information is that all of the white keys use sharp key signatures. And all of the key signatures that use flats, with the exception of F, have flat in the name of the key. So if I'm looking for the key of E flat, I know that it's going to be flats. All of the keys that don't have flat in the name are sharp keys, or keys that use sharps in their scale, with the exception of F. F is the only one that doesn't kind of reveal itself with the name, with the flat in the name. So you want to keep that in mind. So what you really need to, so if you look at the flats, with one flat, it's B flat. With two flats, B flat and E flat. Three flats is B flat, E flat, A flat. This is a very specific pattern where the next flat that gets added is a fourth higher than the last one. So B flat up to E flat is 4 steps. E flat up to A flat is 4 steps. A flat up to D flat is 4 steps, and so on. When the F sharp up to the next one is actually down a fourth. So F sharp down to C sharp is a fourth. C sharp down to G sharp is a fourth, and so on. You don't really need to know that, but it's useful to know that it's a pattern, and really all you need to remember is one of the patterns, because if you compare these two lists, you will see F, C, G, D, A, E, B becomes B, E, A, D, G, C, F. So the two patterns are they're backwards from each other. They're the inversion of each other. So if you simply remember B, E, A, D, G, C, and F, in this direction, it's the flats. And in that direction, it's the sharps. So B, E, A, D, G, C, F is the flats, and F, C, G, D, A, E, B is the sharps. Now, how are you supposed to know how many you need for which key? Well, there's a couple of sentences that will be useful to you for that. In the sharp keys, the last sharp is for the 7th scale degree. Remember what happened with the 7th scale degree? The 7th scale degree is a half step away from the tonic. So if I get to the last sharp, D sharp is the leading tone. This is the key of E. Where A sharp is the leading tone, or the 7th step, that's going to be the name of the key. And where G sharp is the last note, A will be the name of the key. C sharp is the last sharp, D will be the name of the key. F sharp is the last, it's also the first sharp, but it's the last one. G will be the key. And that's how you can compare that information with all of these. The key of A has 3 sharps. And here we have the key of A with 3 sharps. With the flat keys, all you have to do is look at the second to last flat, because that's going to name the key, with the exception of F. F is the only one. So the last flat is for the 4th scale degree, or the second to last names the key. So the second to last flat is B flat, because the last one is E flat. Second to last flat is E flat. Second to last flat is A flat. Whoops. Second to last flat is D flat. So finding the major key signature from, the major tonic from the key signature, you look at the second to last flat, and that's the name of the key. And this corresponds to what I said a moment ago, where all of the flat keys have flat in the name of the key. The key of B flat uses flats for all of the modified notes that are necessary. All the black notes are going to be flats. Same with the key of E flat, the key of A flat, the key of D flat. This is the key of G flat. And that's the scales and the key signatures of the major scale, the key signatures for the major scale. So you need to memorize that. But what you really need to memorize is bead. I'm going to do this again. You really need to memorize this. What you really need to memorize is this. And it starts with the word bead, which might help you. B-E-A-D. And then G-C-F. I don't know. Got cold feet. Go catch flies. Anything that'll help you remember G-C-F. And then if you remember that forwards and backwards, F-C-G-D-A-E-B are the sharps. B-E-A-D-G-C-F are the flats. Then you need to know how to, if you've got 2 of them, the last sharp is C. C sharp is the 7th scale degree of the key of D. If you have flats, if you have 2 flats, let's say, B and E, the second to last flat is B flat, and the name of that key signature would be B flat. Another strategy is to actually memorize all of this down here. All of these patterns will not, will be the way that you'll know the key signatures. We're going to look at some actual music and show how this works in a real piece of music. We'll do that in a couple of videos from now. So for now, you should memorize the order of sharps and flats, and it's a good idea to also keep going over the scales and play them on the piano. See you soon.